Every year at KBIS, the Next Stage becomes the show's beating heart, where the industry's biggest ideas, boldest innovations, and brightest minds come together.
KBIS is just the ultimate experience. I mean, for me, it's the candy store of seeing all the vendors, all the technology, all the products that you can incorporate that most of them you've probably never even heard of. But then it's also the professionals. I love all of the lectures. There's something for everybody here. So if you come to KBIS, just give yourself the flexibility in your schedule to take in as many of the talks as you possibly can, because you're definitely going to walk away from every single talk with something valuable.
From design strategy to emerging technology, from product innovation to the future of how we live, these conversations reveal where the kitchen and bath industry is headed next.
I love to make tubs the moment. Like, we all love, beautiful vanity, beautiful countertops, lights, mirrors, all of that. And as much as I love my showers, I love the tub to be the star. We love putting chandeliers over tubs, I've seen some really beautiful tubs around here actually. Not just your boring white basic tub.
Here are some of the standout moments from the KBIS Next Stage. Next up, creating spaces with staying power. Led by Business of Home Editor-in-Chief Caitlin Peterson, the panel featured designers Nathan Orsman, Mandy Chang, and Bobby Burke. The conversation explored what it really takes to create kitchens and baths that stand the test of time, spaces that balance beauty, functionality, and thoughtful details.
I would love to explore this idea of a space that's built to last. What does that mean to you? Are you thinking about that aesthetically? Are you thinking about that functionally? How does that land for you?
The first thing I always think about is function. And so that has the most longevity and staying power to me. Because if a space isn't functional, no matter how beautiful it is, you're going to tire of that space quite quickly. You're going to get frustrated of that space. The client is going to be frustrated with you because it wasn't functional. So to make a space really functional and usable, to me, is the first thing that I think about when it comes to longevity.
Clients come up and they'll show us a picture that they like, or like, I want my kitchen or my bathroom to look like this. And like your bathroom and your kitchen are not even the shape, that could accommodate this. So I think, understanding what their needs are, understanding functionality, and then, we can take aspects of these designs and we can incorporate them in this way, but does this make sense to you? So I think that is staying power, is making sure that they can use it once it's done, because if you can't, then you have this beautiful kitchen that's great for entertaining, but you have 3 kids and 2 dogs and you only have guests over on the holidays. So that's not gonna work. So it's really like talking through that with them and making sure they understand they can still have a beautiful space without it looking just like this photo that we dragged all of the stuff out of frame for to get that shot.
Then came one of the most anticipated events of the show, Innovation Hour, the industry's ultimate show and tell. Hosted by design journalist Sophie Donaldson, the showcase brought together leading brands unveiling their latest breakthroughs in materials, technology, and design. From Blue Star's powerful X8 cooktop to Caesarstone's next-generation Icon surfaces and LG's space-saving signature refrigerator, the stage became a preview of the future. In the end, 3 brands rose to the top. Caesarstone won Most Innovative for Caesarstone Icon. Magpie captured Most Unexpected for Magpie Silverstone. And LG took home I'd Spec That Tomorrow for LG's signature 21 cubic foot counter depth, zero clearance 4-door French refrigerator with thin door design. All judged live by the audience.
Well, we came here to just represent our philosophy of wellness and how we've inculcated in our designs and innovations, and we were mostly excited about that and the fact that we won the Most Unexpected. We won alongside Caesarstone, which is a long-standing company in the US. They're known in the US, and also LG. It's really honorable, and we're super excited for next KBIS and our next presentation.
I didn't expect it, even though I know our brand is very innovative, but I'm very happy that everybody could understand this. and it was very important for me to express and tell people what we are doing, and just to show them a little bit behind the scenes of our work. So I really appreciated that people voted for us, and it's very exciting.
Technology also took center stage during Disappearing Act, the rise of invisible tech. HGTV host and designer Tanya Nyack led a conversation with designer Kristen Harvey, Joe Whitaker of Origin Acoustics, and Abiola Amusan of AV Luxury Design. The focus, technology that enhances daily life without disrupting the design.
My key takeaway from this panel is that I feel like the designers and the technology integrators still need to figure out how to work more closely together. So that kind of communal effort between the two will kind of give us the thing that we're actually looking for.
How do we ensure basically that our clients are getting the technology that they want, that they need, but without overwhelming them?
I think in our projects, that conversation is actually normally initiated by the client. I think anyone that wants to spend, for us anyway, anyone that wants to spend this amount of money on a system like this is generally quite tech savvy, like one of the partners is. And then they kind of bring it up, but they don't really know the stratosphere, like how much, like how deep you could get into it.
Right.
And then what we do is we kind of just present like in each category, like lighting, like here's how far we can go, here's how easy it could be, what do you want? And I feel like most clients will say they want the easiest settings.
Design harmony was the focus of the art of the layer, furniture, lighting, and finishes in harmony. Moderated by designer and television host Jennifer Bertrand, the panel brought together Jackie Bethke, Brittany Farinas, and Christina Christopher of Coletto Brands. Their message was clear. The most memorable interiors aren't created with a single statement piece. They're built through thoughtful layering.
What is the most important thing when you talk about layering, and what's something they could take away from this that you're like, that's usable information?
I think that when you talk about layering or how a space makes you feel, contrast is emotion. So a lot of your clients and builders will pick out like a statement faucet or a statement piece of granite, or they'll bring a certain color to the project where they really want to use this color. But I think that you have to think about that as, oh, that's a nice necklace, or oh, this is a great outfit. So you want to make sure that you're making sure that that emotion is not just about the faucet or the light fixture or the piece of granite, but you want to make sure that the entire space ends up embodying the emotion that they're trying to convey.
The conversation then turned toward the next generation of homeowners. In Designing for Digital Natives, Design Milk senior editor Joseph Scambati III joined designers Sarah Malik Barney, Ali Faulkner, and Jamie Gasparovic. Millennials are now the largest home buying group, and Gen Z is not far behind. That means kitchens and baths must be connected, customizable, and yes, camera ready.
What tech elements should designers consider as integral to design as things like plumbing and electrical?
One of the biggest things for us that a lot of people request is motorized window treatments of some sort. So especially when we're doing a new construction home, planning for that ahead of time so that you can wire before the drywall is up, and it can be a really seamless, thing for them to have these motorized shades, versus if you're trying to think about that afterwards, they have to charge them and plug them in, and sometimes we have really high 2-story ceilings with windows where that becomes a logistical issue. So I think electrical wise, that is one that we think about and plan for really early on in our projects.
Another critical topic shaping the industry, resilience. In the business of resilience, designing homes that endure, Good Housekeeping's Dan DeClerico led a conversation with architects Arshia Mahmoudi and Harper Halprin, alongside HGTV host and Scott Brothers Global CEO, Jonathan Scott. As extreme weather events increasingly impact homeowners, resilient design is no longer optional.
I think there's a lot to learn when it comes to resilience and the business behind resilience, but what used to be doubling your cost of construction to be fully hardened is no longer the case. In fact, in most cases, it's only maybe about 10% more. Some of them are just architectural changes. So for me, the idea that you have to step back and holistically think of your environment. Are there any natural disasters that are known in your area? Are there any lifestyle challenges that you expect, aging in place and things like that? All of these need to be taken into consideration when you build a truly resilient home, because resilience is more about interrupting your lifestyle, all of the things that could interrupt your life, and building homes to accommodate that so you don't have those interruptions.
Celebration took the stage during the Best of KBIS Awards, hosted by Sarah Shelton of Luxe Interiors and Design. The annual awards recognize the products and brands pushing the industry forward, honoring innovation, style, functionality, and sustainability. This year's Best in Show went to KitchenAid for its smart double-wall oven with live look-in, while standout wins across categories highlighted the growing influence of outdoor living, smarter technology, and wellness-focused design.
It feels incredible, and I think we're just so fortunate to be here representing the entire team who's put in so much effort to bringing this product to market and to representing it here at the show.
What an honor, all of KBIS, we did it. Thank you.
Design storytelling continued with room-to-room rhythm, creating a visual journey through the home. This conversation explored how designers craft homes that feel cohesive from one space to the next, guiding the eye through color, materials, and architectural detail to create a seamless visual experience.
When designing a whole home per se, what does that process look like for you? And is there a room that you typically start with, and why? Especially like for that client who says, I need you to take over the entire house. Which at first, it's exciting, but it's overwhelming. What's that process for you? What's that starting line for each one of you?
So I can start with that one. So we definitely start with all of the public spaces, which typically is, so it may not be one room, it's like all of the open areas,
yes,
which is typically the first floor in most homes. And our process internally, when we are designing, after we do the intake, we know what their style is, now we're down to like nitty gritty,
yeah,
the granular process of how do we design in-house. We always start with our flooring, because like I said before, we start from the ground up.
Yes.
And then we layer on, so we might take out 3 different concepts for the 5 rooms, lay them all out, and they're all somewhat interchangeable.
Right.
And then we layer on all of the textiles, the textures, the cabinetry, and the hard finishes, and then we tweak it, and then we work our way back down to the rug. So there is like floor to up, and then up back down again. And that is our process. We like to say that all the rooms are friends, and they need to have a conversation with each other. And when we lay it out in front of our clients, we show them. They can see in a flat lay the entire flow of a space visually, and they start to understand what a point of view is and what a whole home consistency looks like.
Wellness also emerged as a defining theme of the show. In immersive water rituals, from wet rooms to cold plunges, the discussion centered on the evolving role of the bathroom as a place of restoration. From spa-like wet rooms to hydrotherapy-inspired features and cold plunges, designers are reimagining bathing as a full sensory experience.
I think the most important takeaway that I had from this panel is that there is an aesthetic and a design style for everyone, and it was so fun to hear how water and immersion and all of the new trends are pushing people to the bathroom and to comfort. So I love it.
Finally, the Next Stage spotlight turned to the show floor itself with the Best Booth Awards. These awards celebrate the exhibitors who transformed their booths into immersive design experiences, spaces that showcased innovation, craftsmanship, and storytelling. This year's Best in Show booth went to Kohler, with standout installations from GE, Doll Tile, Fabuwood, plain and fancy custom cabinetry, and Iconi. Together, the winning booths reflected the biggest trends shaping the industry, from organic materials and warm colors to technology and wellness-driven design. From inspiration and innovation to resilience and wellness, the conversation on the KBIS NextStage reveal one thing only. The future of kitchen and bath design is thoughtful, connected, and constantly evolving. Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.